Now, let's firstly deal with masturbation, because it's one of the easiest to deal with. There's a lot of sexual to-do about masturbation, a lot of jokes about it and so forth, isn't there? You know, if a person's caught masturbating, they're usually made to feel quite terrible about themselves and so forth. But the reality is quite simple. If you can't and are not allowed to touch yourself sexually, then why is anybody else allowed to touch you sexually? So to me, the whole reason why masturbation is treated as a taboo is because there is a general shame that people have about touching themselves sexually and getting pleasure from their own touch, right? So there's a general shame present. But what happens, though, with masturbation is you could say sometimes masturbation is taken to the extreme.
So an addiction to masturbation.
So in other words, it becomes an addiction. Do you follow me? So a person may masturbate on a fairly regular basis, but then it may become an extreme. Now, of course, different psychologists will tell you different things about what the extreme is, you know. But in the end, much masturbation begins from a very, very simple emotion. It's a feeling of sadness about not being loved. Just simple emotion that we're just trying to avoid by having a sexual feeling instead. And in fact, the interesting things about most of the things that we've written here, not all of them, but most of them, is they all come from some kind of emotional hurt or injury as to why we have that particular desire.
So masturbation is, many people are made to feel like they're very shameful and there's something wrong with them sexually, when in fact the core reason that a person may masturbate compulsively is simply about a sense of like avoiding their own loneliness and sadness.
Now the same thing applies to pornography.